Hello.
This one is not working.
Okay, so that should be better now.
All right.
Or maybe it'll work for him. Good morning, St. Nevis. It's another Friday and the end of June, and all sorts of things going on, including the tragic news of the passing of the Governor General Sir Tapley.
Yes.
The
Are we
former
good?
Governor General, yes. Pleasant morning to everyone.
How are
Friday
you?
30th. Oh, I am. I don't even know what to feel, how to feel. Just giving thanks for life. I mean, yesterday we heard the news of the passing of Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, who served as the first Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Is he like the youngest?
Yeah.
The youngest, yeah.
Yeah, the youngest to date. And he also served as, I think he was a former president of the Bar Association
Yes.
for our country. He was on so many statutory bodies, boards of statutory bodies. He also served as the Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis between 2015 to 2023. I mean, he is he was a statesman in every form. Tapley Seaton was a very kind individual, a very knowledgeable individual. I remember my first experience meeting him. I was just, in my early 20s. He had a show here at WINNFM called The Constitution. I don't know if Jam still remember that
Yes,
program.
I used to be on the right here during that show.
Yeah. And one time, he actually invited me in to speak on his program. I think I just started the law program. I would have been a part of the Youth Parliament Association, and he invited me in. At that point in time, I was, a bit taken back, and we formed a bond, and I have spoken to him so many times since then. I remember even being at school at the UWI when and he would have assisted in so many ways with the organizations that I were a part of, Youth Parliament, the St. Kitts Nevis Students Association. While at KFIL, I served as the president, and he would have been instrumental in giving, funding and support. I remember when I was the president of the Law Society back in KFIL, and he would have given again support and kind sponsorship for the Law Society there. And I remember when I was president of the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association, we actually had a youth forum, a youth gala. We actually planned it, and it was at Government House, and it was at no charge to the association. He was an honorable member of the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association.
I'm a friend, yes.
Yeah, and he had that event for us, and he didn't charge us at all. It came under his patronage, and he supported so many young people. And when you hear the stories about persons who would have engaged with him, spoken with him, it's such a high level, and so many people had respect for him. I think he is absolutely someone that, regardless of political affiliation, you could say that he was indeed a true statesman in every form.
Yes.
I mean, he believed in what he believed in, and no matter what the political affiliation might be, he would always give his opinion on what he feels should be the best way, and that is someone who I have the greatest of respect for. I spoke to him, I think sometime in June, just earlier in the month, to see how he was doing, and I couldn't believe that would have been the final conversation. We spoke about so many things. I spoke about how it was the politics now, and I would have indicated to him as well that I now serve as the chairman of the party for the People's Action Movement, and he would have said, he always really kept inside the news. I remember when I would tell him things, and he would say, "Yeah, I know that." Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and he
Finger on the pulse.
Yeah, he in so many respects for me, he has been such a mentor. He has been like a godfather, a grandfather in that kind of, father-like figure where you could ask advice and you could get sound advice and get some reasoning. He has served so many. He has served in so many public capacities, and he has been so many things for so many people. When you hear the stories, I remember even for my call to Bar, for my call to Bar, he actually was the person who had asked to move my call, and initially he had said yes, and then afterwards, it was in 2015, he became Governor General, and I said to myself, him being Governor General, he would not be able to do it. And, he explained, because of the office, he would not be able to do it. And that was the kind of relationship. But he was there at my bar calling as well. And I felt so honored and privileged to have the Governor General there at the time, And I remember even before he came Governor General, he came to Jamaica for some trip. And I remember when he said to me, plans are being made for him to become Governor General,
nice.
And and I said, no, what problem? You won't hear me say anything to anyone, So that I can't believe that. I know he wasn't at the best health, but at the same time,
it still takes you by surprise, and it's always very painful for the persons left behind, But I be comforted in your memories. It sounds like you have some really nice memories of our past, Gigi, and I'm sure there are others. So what we want to do this morning, we want to open the phone lines for just a bit so that you guys can call in and pay tribute to our former Governor General. Mm-hmm. And if you have any stories that you would like to share with us, in any capacity, we welcome that. I know my stepdad often spoke of him. They grew up around the same area, and they were around the same age group, and so he would always tell us stories about him as a child. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to hear some of those memories. So guys, the phone lines are open. You can call in and pay your tribute.
Island T, you're on.
Hello.
Good morning, great people.
Good morning.
Okay, I am feeling like you all too with the loss of the governor. And so I offer my condolences to his sister and all his other family.
Yes.
Well, death is a thing. It must come.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have any date on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of us does be surprised, but, we all should expect that any time.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. He has done so many great things that it will take a whole day to read them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then, while listening to things, our neighbor in St. Martin, an ex-mayor, he passed away Wednesday too, with a heart attack.
Oh, my. Wow.
Yeah, I heard it on St. Martin News yesterday. But anyway, just give me one 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Now, we know a lot of things happening in our country, especially with the younger generation, them negative activities. So I am saying, there is a guy by the name of Brother Bumpy. He is a boxer, and he is willing to help these youths to become something professional that they can make money and live from it rather than sitting down and doing idleness. And so I am asking on behalf of Brother Bumpy for whosoever can help him to get the facilities that he say he needs to train these youths to box rather than having them box once every time the moon turn black. For entertainment, that is not good enough. So I'm asking whoever can help Brother Bumpy with whatever it takes to help these youths to get off the street and do something positive, please help him. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me just. He actually used to call me personally here.
Yeah.
And give me counsel. And sometimes we would concerning I don't remember what the topics might have been. We might have been constitutional stuff, or maybe sometimes when I was doing voices, and he would call and tell me, maybe clear up certain things. And but he was always very. This is the other thing. Mm-hmm. I found as a Governor General, he was very humble, and he didn't have that. He didn't have that pretentious. Yes, he didn't have that pretentious air that a lot of people seem to. That's
he was
that
a
air,
very humble person.
that air of self-importance that everybody seems to grow
Yeah.
after they become politicians
Do you see
or
where
after
he
become.
still lived?
Mm-hmm.
He never
Yes.
moved.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I always like that. You never. I mean, he would actually call regularly like a regular person.
Yes.
Seriously, he would call voices or inside the news stuff like that, just like a regular person.
Yeah.
You know.
Constitutional law is
yeah.
not one of the easiest subjects.
Yeah. He loved his constitution.
Island T, you're on the air.
Yes.
Hello.
Greetings, IT.
Hey,
Good morning.
what's
How
up?
are you?
Morning.
Peace and love. I am good. Once you are good, I am good.
Love to hear it.
Thanks. Okay, we want to echo our heartical condolences to the families of the former general, my neighbor.
Yeah. Wow.
Culture just said something there. Don't want to go into it. But we don't see that, you know. We really don't see that. We wasn't created today. I don't think so. But it is with
I love your philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it is. We was created in the similitude of the Creator. The Creator is immortal. I mean, that is something that, no. Anyhow, heartical condolences, I more, and just live for him. Be imploring his families, loved ones, friends, everyone. Just live for him.
Yeah.
Blessed love. Blessed love.
Blessed love.
Indeed. Condolences, deepest sympathy to the family, loved ones, friends of the former Governor General Sir Tapley Seaton. I have here a message from the Prime Minister. It was sent out. It says, the passing of the former Governor General is indeed a great loss, not only to the family and loved ones, but to the entire nation. Sir Tapley had a long and distinguished career of service to his country and fellow citizens and residents. Sir Tapley was the fourth Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis from 2015 to 2023. His legacy is deeply etched into the rich history of our beloved twin federation. As one of our nation's true statesmen and patriots, he worked relentlessly for justice, preserving the foundations of the judicial system. He was a philanthropist and a great leader who made an indelible contribution to the Federation and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. He served as a noted attorney for many years, as a Crown Counsel in the Attorney General's Chamber and acting High Court Registrar 1975 to 1980, and the St. Kitts Nevis Attorney General 1980 to 1995. He was appointed as one of Her Majesty's Council in 1988 and a Knight Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George on the 9th November 2015. He also had a distinction of being named Commander of the Royal Victorian Order in 1985. Sir Tapley Seaton is credited as being one of the architects of our Constitution. His achievements consist of for legislative drafting, including the Income Tax Amendment for St. Lucia in 2001, Securities Act, Aliens Land Holding Regulation Acts in 9 of the ECCU member territories, the National Trust Bill for St. Kitts and Nevis, the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College Bill, and the drafting of the Small and Medium Enterprises Bill, which eventually became the Small Business Development Act, number 24 of 2009. And these are some of his civic duties. So Tapley Seaton served his country as a member of various boards, national committees, and organizations in numerous capacities, including the director of the St. Kitts Sugar Manufacturing Corporation, the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the Frigga Development Corporation, the president of the St. Christopher Heritage Society, the St. Kitts Nevis Bar Association, and the OECS Bar Association, vice president of the Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park Society, and the St. Christopher National Trust, and chairman of the Cable and Wireless, formerly known as Scantel. He served on so many boards.
Yeah, I forgot about the cable and wireless thing.
I did. I remember the others, the St. Christopher Trust and Brimstone Hill. I remember those for sure.
He did so many things.
And like you said last night, I mean, true statesman.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And someone that a lot of the politicians that we have around you can learn from.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling the mold is going to be buried with him.
Yeah.
The mold that he was made from
Yeah.
is going to be buried with him. And you know, he was one of the key architects of the Constitution.
Yeah.
He said he mentioned that.
He was.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have words from the People's
Like that
Action
was his
Movement.
baby.
He also says the People's Action Movement is deeply saddened by the news of the passing of Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, former Governor General and first Attorney General in the PAM administration in the 1980s. He will be remembered for his indelible contribution to our nation in the field of law, and especially as one of the notable architects of our Constitution. In addition to his service on several regional organizations, he is renowned for his untiring involvement in several NGOs in St. Kitts and Nevis, including the St. Kitts National Trust and the Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park Society. A distinguished statesman, he was appointed a Knight Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael's and St. George on 9th November 2015, and one of Her Majesty's Queen's Council in 1988. He also has the distinction of being named the Commander of the Royal Victorian Order in 1985. We extend profound sympathy to his family and to all who mourn this tremendous loss to our nation at this time. May the God of comfort and compassion lighten the weight of your grief, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. That's from the People's Action Movement. Yeah.
Death is always. I don't know the right word for it, but it's like, even if you know that it's going to happen, because, you know, at some point we all have to go, and we all know that he had, ailing in health, but still, it came as a shock. I remember somebody mentioned it, and I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I
they
know.
said, Sir Tapley just passed. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Deepest condolences to
I
family,
think
friends, loved ones, to our nation.
So
we've definitely lost a good one.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. Well, sincere condolences to his family, the members of Sir Tapley's family. I guess we can talk about some other stuff in the meantime. And call our listeners. You're free to call at any point.
Yeah.
And pay your tributes to Sir Tapley.
We also lost another.
I think a former.
I think today is the funeral of Al Barker. Remember for Barker and Kelly?
I did not know this.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know he died. When was
He
this?
passed. Was it last week?
Oh, wow.
I did not know.
So many people are passing.
The funny thing was, I saw a story about Al Barker, but it never mentioned that he had died.
Yeah, I think today is his funeral. Yeah.
Sympathies and condolences to the family of Al Barker as well.
Yeah. Another good one.
Yes.
Made huge marks on our society and on our nation.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think a prime minister, I caught the tail end of the story. A former prime minister of Barbados passed away as well.
Really?
But I didn't catch the name.
Oh my goodness.
So I was looking for it, couldn't find anything. You know how it's easier to find news about North America and Europe than it is to find news about the Caribbean. So I remember.
Sometimes when I see them, if I don't screenshot them, then I lose them.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's been quite a lot happening actually. When I was about to leave the house, there was this whole story about affirmative action in the U.S.
Yes, I
And
want
the
to talk
Supreme-
about that actually. Yes.
Shoot, go ahead. And the Supreme Court.
Yeah. And you know, I mentioned last week that the Asian guy who tabled the case, his argument was that black people were responsible. Black people were the one blocking him and others from getting into schools, and it has been shown. If you saw some of the statistics last night, since some parts of the affirmative action law were dismantled, I think back in the 1990 or something, black enrollment has actually dropped by 57%. So I don't
I don't know why he made black persons the scapegoat.
Well, that's what they always do.
But of course, somebody has to take the fall.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed that was the outcome. And I love the speech that Candisie gave.
Yes, her in her dissent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Even my good friend Clarence.
Well, but he's always going to be on the wrong side of history with everything. I mean, I know when I heard 6-3, even before I got the details, I said, yeah, I'm sure Clarence is on that. He's on the dark side, for sure. Yeah.
But it's disappointing. So now schools are being encouraged, and Biden even spoke out about it. He was disappointed. He said this is not a normal court, because somebody said the Supreme Court had gone rogue, and he said this is not a normal court
because they're basically dismantling, you could say, settled law.
Precisely.
Including the abortion,
Oh gosh,
Roe v. Wade
listen,
and all that.
they are going to be busy this week, because in addition to the whole dismantling of the affirmative action bit, they're also reviewing a case where employees, this one guy that used to work at the Postal Service brought a case before them where he doesn't want to work on Sundays. And actually, I think it was Saturday, because he might have been Adventist. Whatever it was a case on religion. And he didn't want to work that day. And so he's basically bringing forth a case where employers are now obliged to give you time off for religious duty. But you see, the problem with that is everybody doesn't worship on the same day.
Exactly.
Right? So I can already see more and more cases popping out of the woodworks with that.
But then, isn't that the kind of thing that I think most employees would, because usually it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think Jews are Friday and Muslims are Friday. Seventh Adventists are Saturday and most are Sunday. So wouldn't you say most people probably get the time off they need? I would like to think.
The problem is when you work with the Postal Service, and then I think they were mentioning, I just was hearing bits and pieces of it, when you factor in Amazon, because Amazon has Prime delivery, so deliver like the very next day. So he's complaining that he had to work more days than he got time off to go worship. But on the flip side, you can also see employees abusing that.
Yeah.
Because how much time off do you really need for religious worship, and within reason? Because if you're going to take every single weekend off, what happens when somebody else wants that time off? It might not be for religious purposes, but you get every weekend off. So is it possible for us to switch? Like, I already see issues with that. And I've actually worked in a place before where when the individual started working with the company, I was like the direct supervisor, and she wasn't into religion, she wasn't going to church on Saturdays and things of that nature. Then she converted, and every Saturday, once we had an activity, she couldn't make it. And of course the higher up started getting annoyed, because we understand that this is your religion and this, you need to go to work and blah blah to church, but if we're having something like maybe, I don't know, a retreat or some type of company gathering, you're absent for every single one of them. Yeah. And at this point, she had become a supervisor and I had been promoted. So it's like, who's supervising your staff when you're not there?
Which denomination is that?
She was Adventist.
Yes, that's what I thought.
And so it became a whole issue in the company, because every Saturday activity or every weekend activity, like for instance, the worship starts for them at sundown on Friday. So it was like, I can't work past this time, I have to rush out. And I feel like at sometimes, and I never like to get into the religious argument and discussion, but I feel like sometimes persons forget the whole purpose of religion. Yeah. It, from my understanding, it's to pay homage and worship to a higher calling, right? So if you make it so ingrained in your routine and rigorous to the point where like, if the sun goes down and I'm at work, oh my God, I'm gonna get struck down, type of thing.
That's why I don't debate religion.
No, I don't like to, but fair is fair.
I'm glad
right?
to do it.
As an employer, you kind of have to see it from both ends. Yes, I respect your beliefs and that you have to go and worship, right? Because I believe in a higher calling as well, right?
I remember.
But when it becomes to the part where you're making it
productivity suffers.
It's not even about productivity. It's more like you're worshiping the doctrines than the higher calling.
Yeah.
Like you can't wear this, you can't be in there after sundown type of thing. Like,
but
God is a forgiving and understanding God.
The doctrines that the
man-made doctrines.
But you see, a lot of these persons, when you look at religion and you look at the different categories in terms of the Seventh-day Adventists, the Jehovah's Witness, and all, it's all about the doctrines that they subscribe to.
Yes.
Because we all worship in truth the same God.
But what I found with the Seventh-day Adventists, and I've noticed this ever since I was in high school. I remember during inter-school, and I remember as young as I was, I used to be outraged at the outsized bending backwards they used to do to accommodate them, because inter-school start on Thursday and go till Sunday, and we can't run heats on Saturday. I think I only ever told Stanley. He's the only one I think may have said something. I said, what is wrong? I said, God, it's a sin to have physical exercise. I think they really take the stuff to a ridiculous.
I have a bunch of Adventist persons in my family. My sisters went to this Adventist school.
Most of us worship on Sunday, and we're not so fastidious about it's 6 o'clock.
But then there's certain beliefs in certain religion that only a certain number of persons are going to make it to heaven. So based on that beliefs and based on what you're doing, you're probably not in their numbers for them.
Yeah, but God, I know God is not a hierarchical God. So this whole idea, if you think you're going to be doing stuff because you think you're going to heaven and somebody else isn't going to heaven,
I
don't think it works like that.
It's just the whole judging as to
God
who
and worship Him in spirit and in truth. After that, you lost me with all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
For me, I'm more about spirituality, but I don't want to knock anyone's religion.
I'm not knocking them. I'm just pointing out. The obvious.
Yep. But for me, like, that whole case, I can already see it being abused, right? The whole ruling of the Supreme Court, I can already see it being abused.
We have some calls. Caller Island T, you're on.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, I started off so lovely talking about the demise of the former Governor General, and you went into this religion thing. And I'm here listening, and I remember maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, months, the lady who is on speaking right now, and Azard, both supported people saying that if they want to be homosexuals in their own right, who are we to judge them?
And again, caller,
and yet I hear judging people who want a day off, because I was once a person that was employed in the civil service, and I gave up the civil service because I wasn't getting the time off. But that was my own decision. The thing is, we are in a society that does not really, like Israel and other places, that honors the Sabbath. And I have come to realize that the Sabbath was really given to God's people for a specific reason, to separate them from all the other nations. Is not necessarily something that is necessary to be done, but it also makes claims that if a stranger wants to join to the people of Israel, they are allowed to. But there are some people who take it to the extreme, but you are condoning them. And
before you continue,
No.
I don't like to say that you said that I'm condoning them.
First of all, we haven't attacked anyone.
And I
started off saying I do not knock anyone's religion, and I don't believe in criticizing other person's religion. So let's go back to that.
And let me say this. I said I don't debate religion, because religion and what people believe, they believe.
Those are personal things that people will not debate or change.
All I've said is that based on the religion, there are certain doctrines that persons believe, and persons based on their doctrine, they have the Jehovah's Witness, they have the Seventh-day Adventists, and things like that. So, please, when it comes to religion, I don't argue anyone's religion. I don't debate it, because you believe what you believe, and you have that respect from me to believe what you believe once you're not hurting another individual.
I think you're missing the whole point, because what I said is that the court in the U.S., the Supreme Court in the U.S., passed a law where employers have to give their employees time off to support their religion. And I said, I can already see that this is going to be abused and it's going to be problematic because there are some workers that are going to overdo it. At no point in time did I knock anyone's religion because that is their personal belief.
You made reference when you said that you remember when you was working at this establishment and it was just basically something that you couldn't understand and it was upsetting the whole flow of the work and
I said the higher ups.
But let me say this to you before I go because I don't want to take up too much time. I heard you make claims that you say you believe in a higher power. You are at liberty to disclose which power you're talking about that you believe in.
Jesus, God, whoever the supreme being.
Let me ask you something. How can you, as a person who could make that claim, which I honor, still condone that it is okay for a male or a woman to go with the same sex in their own privacy when the Bible utterly condemns that?
Because I am not a judge. God is the final judge.
No, right.
His only commandment to us was to love.
Yeah, but the book says, if you say you support that higher power, then it means that you follow the teachings of that higher power based on the Bible.
I think for me, the main commandment, and that's the one that I build my life on, is that he said to love one another. Right? There are things I'm pretty sure there are things that I do in my life that people don't like and they don't condone. And that's not for them to judge. So I don't go about judging. I just love and try to keep that one commandment and then let Jesus or God or whoever the higher power is whatever we call him, because it could be Yahweh, it could be something else, let him be the judge.
I will say to you, when these kind of discussions are discussed at these levels of authority, supreme authority, court authority, you should stay out of it and not give your opinion because you're basically condemning yourself based on you saying, yes, we are to love. So this is how I look at it. I don't hate homosexuals, but I do not like what they do. And I will not voice and say that they have the right
you see how you're free to list your opinion?
But I don't condemn them.
You see how you just listed your opinion and your belief? That is something open to everyone. So if I want to comment on that, again, that's my opinion and my belief.
You are supporting what you said that you believe in and going against the exact thing. Anyway,
but that's our opinion. Everybody's free to do that.
That is one reason when it comes to religion, I do not go into the debate.
It doesn't matter about religion because he's saying don't speak on the court. No, he's talking about the court, and I shouldn't have said anything about it.
That she support what the higher teaching of the Christian faith teaches based on the Bible. That is our rule. That is our law. But she openly uses her opinion to say that she agrees if a person wants to do what they want to do, it's up to them in their own privacy.
So glad you
and
said
the Bible
my opinion.
condemns that.
Okay.
It's the same thing as laying with a beast. The Bible condemns that you should not sleep with a beast as if a man sleep with a woman. That is something that the Bible condemns.
You know the Bible also says judge not that ye be not judged, right? Because right now you're passing judgment.
Okay, so in the same regard, right, you would say that the Bible says a number of things, right, Carlo?
Murder. For example, murder. The Bible says you shall not murder. But you know the funny thing, God puts sowing a seed, a discard among brethren higher than murder. Now that's almost unbiblical. You would think murder is something that is more extreme to God. But sowing a seed, a discard in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 22 is something greater in his eyes as an evil as murder. But you see, but all
Carlo,
I'm saying,
before you go on, right, just a question. You said that the Bible has a number of teachings, right? A number of things that they say in the Bible, have been said in the Bible.
Correct.
But you see, in every religion, whether it is Jehovah's Witness, whether it is Seventh-day Adventists, they have taken a subset of what the holistic, the teaching of the Bible said, and they have taken that and they have formed their religion and their basis on which they worship.
I agree with you.
So when it comes to this, if Candy wants to take an aspect of it and says that she believes that for her, love is love and love is the teaching, that is her belief because everyone within this society, within this earth, has done that. And look at it, when we had, back in the day, when we had the Roman Catholic Church, and then we had a belief that was different. We see the breaking away, and we see the Protestant movement.
And the Anglican Church.
And that birthed the Anglican Church, again, based on the same Bible. So when it comes to the beliefs of persons taken from the same Bible, so many people have so many different beliefs, and so many people take so many things from it, and they have formed religions and doctrines from it. So
Something
that's
else
why
to
I
note.
say
Although
the Bible is always left up to interpretation. The Bible itself speaks about persons being given that knowledge and that intervention to understand. That's why not everyone can be a preacher. Some of us are teachers, some of us are preachers. So it's always left up to your interpretation. So and it comes back to the same thing that Azard just said. Everybody is going to interpret it in their way and acknowledge it and act according to it in their own way.
Even before it was wrong for you to even.
In this way.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll answer your question and the lady's question in this way.
Okay, go ahead.
There is a fundamental layout of principles that the Bible has set down. People in their own invention and mind, and that's why God said He gave them up to their own imagination, because they would not stick to the foundational principles that was laid down.
What's the foundational principles? What's the foundational principles in which you speak?
The first primary principles will be the 10 Commandments.
And what did the 10 Commandments say?
Which one specifically?
It says that you should have no other God than the true living God. Right?
Okay. Okay.
People have strayed away from that. That's one principle. Another principle, it says that you are to love your neighbor. You are to love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? Now, when you said that principle, now with what the lady was saying, yes, you are to love a person regardless of what they do, if that is all possible. But what we have done now is that because the Bible condones certain acts of things.
No, but Carla, if you are talking about the fundamental rules, that's what you say, the fundamental principles.
I asked what they are, and I was laying off to you
and
in your example.
If you talk about all of that, again, the basis is love. Is basis saying that you only have one God, one true God. It talks about not stealing, not committing adultery. It talks about fornication as well.
I was answering your question.
Okay.
I was answering your question. No, all I was saying is this, that we are to love each other regardless of what they do, if all possible. That's supernatural. But the thing is that what we have done is that when somebody does something that the Bible condemns, instead of trying to go beyond that and love that person, we condemn that person and hate that person, right? Okay. I'm saying to the lady again here that she support. Now, what she's saying is correct in a sense, because if she just wants to love, but what I'm saying, she should not voice her opinion openly if she believes what the Bible says. That's all I'm saying. Because you cannot say that if a person wants to do what they... this is what I would have said. I do not really believe in what they do, but I'm not to hate them. But she says she supports them if they want to do this in their own privacy, because the law has no...
I think what we have done.
Hold on.
I think we have taken a whole discussion about religion and just form it on one principle.
Because you're referring to homosexuality,
yes,
and you want to tell me what my opinion and belief should be, but I haven't done that to you.
You should not voice it openly if you support the Bible. That's supposed to be something that you shouldn't, because what you're saying, you're condemning the Bible when you say that. You're condemning the Bible. You are condemning the Bible because you are saying that even though God does not allow it,
to the Old Testament.
You as a person allows in it because man has made the law for it to happen. Now that is what you're saying. But you still say you support.
First of all, we were talking about work and working on Sundays or Saturdays.
We didn't even bring up.
I don't even know how you made that step over to
that. I was using it as an example.
But he using it as an example, but it wasn't part of the discussion initially.
No, because he said that you all were contradicting yourselves based on a conversation we had in the past about.
But that was in the past.
First of all,
yes,
the Old Testament gave us 10 commandments, right?
But we have to be consistent.
So, okay, quick question before you go forward. What is your belief? What is your religion?
My Christianity. No.
But do you subscribe to the Old and New Testament?
Do you have a denomination? Do you go to a particular church?
Mostly, I started out as a Seventh-day Adventist, honestly, but then I moved over to the Pentecostal.
Is there a specific reason for that?
Yes, because when I went into the Seventh-day Adventist, it was done with the openness I've had. But I realized in the Bible, in Acts, the Lord said that He didn't see it fit to put on the Gentiles the whole law, because not even the forefathers could have kept it. The only thing He wanted the Gentiles to do is to abstain from things offered to idol, things strangled, and fornication and adultery. The other things, He didn't want to put it on them because it was too grievous. And when I saw that, my eyes opened. And the Seventh-day Adventist is not a faith believing church that if somebody is sick, they don't have the faith to pray for that person, because they say God might do it, God might not do it. They don't believe in evil powers possessing people. They want to stay far from that. And I have seen a lot of that in St. Kitts. And when I saw that, I couldn't continue with them. But the thing with the Seventh Adventists, they're very oriented in family support, and said the Kingdom Hall, if the other churches them had that, they would have done so much better. But as I said, and
thank
I
you
stick
for
to
being
my point.
open and sharing that with us.
So you see, persons have different...
So it's your belief, right? and your opinion, right? And so you made that choice, and you're actually able to voice it on air, and nobody's judging, right?
Me, no, I wouldn't have done that unless you asked me to. Yeah. You asked me why, and I told you why.
Right. And it's your opinion, and nobody's judging you.
And it's your choice.
I would like that.
I have Bible facts to support it. Let me ask you something. Do you have Bible facts to support that homosexuality is okay for people to come?
Listen, I am not even touching that. I know because what the Bible says.
I have Bible support to support the reason why
I don't even know why we are focusing on homosexuality when we
because I wanted to know if you believe in the New Testament. Because one of the things that the New Testament did was to come to change some of the laws in the Old Testament.
You see, you're so off course. The Bible, the Lord said He didn't come to change anything, but to fulfill it, not to change nothing. So you're off course right there.
Off course.
Anyway, you see how deep God. And Jamster has a low in the bit. He and him say, okay, we have to go. There's another call on the line or something like that. But listen,
no calls.
So we don't have a call. So Jamster is allowing you.
So you want Jamster to run you off the radio? That's what you're saying?
No, that's fine. No, I'm saying look how long it's prolonging.
Because
but I'm saying,
there wasn't another call.
And this is a very interesting discussion.
If he had cut you off, you would have been upset.
Let me make the final point to you, and I want you to understand, because I'm not condemning you, Miss Lady, lawyer lady. I'm not condemning you. I'm saying this is what I'm saying to you. If you support your higher power, which I also support, that higher power has laid out certain restrictions that we are to follow.
Okay, you're on death row now, caller. You're on death row. There's a call.
Don't say that.
I'm just joking.
Wait, there's a call?
Yeah, there's a call. You can call back.
Okay. Well, thank
you so much for your contribution.
Caller, go right ahead.
That was an interesting debate.
TGIF.
Okay, and we have enough. Okay, wow, calls are going crazy now. So please be brief. You have 30 seconds. Go ahead. I have two other calls on your tail.
Please be brief. Yes.
Yeah. Just keep up the. I mean, this guy's contradicting himself, man. You know he surely pulled you all into a religious discussion.
I know. But and we were talking about
going,
a court
man,
decision.
Okay, hurry up.
But
I don't want to lose the call.
I just want to give the lady and Azard kudos for just continuing the conversation and being open, because if you wasn't open, you would have shut him down right away.
Okay, on to the next call.
Thank you so much
right
for
ahead.
your call.
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
That was interesting.
I know.
I was hoping to come to some
What kills me is that I'm not allowed to say my opinion on my own show.
Candy, no.
Imagine that. I'm supposed to follow what he thinks.
Well, the thing is, with this Supreme Court decision, that's what I call about.
Yeah. Okay, I will be brief because we have a lot of calls. Go ahead.
It was interesting that they made an exception to, I think, something in military schools or something like that.
Military schools,
you would think if they're against discriminating, they would be against all discrimination. But they have an exception, and that, I guess, tells the whole story.
Thank you.
That they are what you call it in law, extenuating circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That make you do what you do, even in law.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all what I wanted to point out. And with regards to what just went on,
we have a call. Yeah.
You have to realize There are different shades of gray, but at some point, something is definitely black and something is definitely white, and you can argue in between the gray. But there are, in fact, some absolutes that we all have to consider.
This is true.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
your
that was a good
contribution.
Wayne, and this is something I want to say when
So
they
the
call.
next call, please.
Well, no, they
We
call
lost
out.
it?
They
We
call
lost it?
out.
Oh, no.
I didn't lose it. They just
The
stopped
person
calling.
hung up.
That's
Oh,
all.
Okay.
All right, here we
Hopefully get
go.
it back.
On the air, let's
Yes.
Hello,
caller.
good morning.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
Please be brief. We have another call.
Yeah. So 30
Even if
seconds.
I could be brief. I don't want to be long.
Summarize.
Okay, go ahead.
Summarize it.
Y'all don't want to get me started today. But anyways, let me say what I have to say quickly.
Yes.
Go ahead. You have
Listen.
provisional time. Go ahead.
Listen, the Bible itself tells us that God is not the author of confusion.
Amen.
Right? Now, religion, I always tell people that religion is of Satan. When we have to look at this thing, we have religion and we have spirituality. The Bible itself tells us those that worship God, and in God I here believe is the Creator, must worship Him in spirit and in truth. Now you have persons who are spiritual, who follow the laws of the Almighty. And don't ask what the laws are, because He has put the laws in our heart. We know what they are. And if we are spiritual people, we won't be conflicting with the laws of the Almighty and the man-made laws handed to us through religion. Right? No, I think I heard Azard said at some point that regardless of regardless of Seventh Day or Jehovah's Witness, we all worship the same God. That's not true. That's not true. The Bible itself tells us that there are many gods, capital letters, but there is one true God. Sorry. The Bible tells us there are many gods, common letters. But there is one true God.
Oh, but Carla, when I made that reference, I made it to Christians. I assume that our Christians support the same Jesus and Jehovah.
No, they don't.
Okay, they don't.
They don't, because Christianity is broken down in a whole lot of things. Because you have what they call the Wesleyan or the Pentecostal. All of them have their own doctrines and so on. They don't.
But
many of them they don't come together.
But even
maybe in the late stages now, you might see a little move towards they trying to hold one head, but the doctrines, the God of doctrines, religion, separating people.
If we talk about Christianity, isn't the fundamental thing about Christianity is that Jesus is the Savior?
Well, who is Jesus? If I ask you to tell me what Jesus looks like, how are you going to describe Jesus?
That's a different kettle of fish.
For me, and I can't speak for others.
No, it's not a different kettle of fish, because the same Bible, the same Bible that we use as the fundamental, I mean, whatever belief in our life, because, let's say the King James Version.
Yes.
Right? That's what we all use. That same Bible have given a description of the Messiah. And many, many people in the Christian religion up until this day, even among our own selves, cannot and do not accept it.
But even, Carla,
in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, the book of Revelation.
Okay.
But they give you an image that is looking
I understand, because you're going to say that he has copper skin and everything, but they give you an image that looks like white. But in the same breath, for me...
No, it wasn't copper skin.
Okay.
They said his skin looked like bronze.
Okay, bronze. Okay.
As if burnt in an oven.
Okay. So,
and this is why
if you burn bronze or light brown,
it gets blackish.
Okay, so it's a black skin. But the thing, when I think about Jesus, I don't think about Jesus as an image. I don't think of him whether he has white skin or dark skin. I think of him as a superior being. And that's why I say I don't go into the argument or the debate when it comes to
Jesus
religion.
is not the superior being neither. If you have to go according to the Bible, he's not the superior being neither. Some say he's the Son of God, but the Bible tells us he's the prophet.
Isn't there the three in one? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the three in one, the Trinity, the Holy Trinity.
Well, actually,
that's the Trinity thing there that is up for discussion.
That Trinity thing is not even in the Bible.
But that's what you called to discuss, or the actual case that we were discussing?
Okay, so you see, this topic could take for like a whole day, you know.
No, you don't.
I didn't
you don't
even
have
get
to
to
take a
mention
whole
the
day,
other
you know.
things
You
that
don't
the
have to
Supreme
take a
Court was
whole
going
day.
to
The reason why you see we have so much
Yes.
confusion, the reason why you see we have so much confusion,
Yes.
the head of religion, the seat right now here is in Rome.
Okay.
They are the ones who pass down the laws of religion to the different sects, the churches. They are the ones who give the messages. They are the ones who say what's supposed to be preached on the pulpit.
Okay, cool.
So that is why you see when they have when persons come with things in the Bible, they shut you down, because unless you are not regurgitating what was handed down, they cannot accept anything else outside of that.
Okay, call.
That is why he said that God of religion, Satan, is the God of religion. And your first caller, many things that he said was correct. So I don't know what the second caller was saying about the man is confused or more or less like to say, don't listen. In my own saying, don't listen or don't bother with him. He's correct.
Okay,
if you or anybody say they accept the Bible.
Okay, you're free to call back.
That is the foundation for them. You cannot go contrary, because Rome now saying nobody looking at what religion is doing to the earth, Religion is actually an institution, and it is used heavily in this world system to keep God's people in mental and psychological bondage, because that is where a lot of the sins and the disobedience to the Almighty takes place, through religion. So your God is either Satan or it's the Creator. And in between there with Satan, he has a lot of other gods too. The God of money. So when you hear some people say, oh, God gave me this, God gave me that, I don't say amen anymore, because I don't know who their God is.
Okay, caller.
So one of the things thank you so much for calling.
Thank you, caller.
One of the things that I find we have an issue with in society, and that is what's getting us into trouble, right? Everybody believes that their opinion is the correct one, right? This was just me talking about what the Supreme Court is working on this week.
I don't even know how we got into homosexuality when we didn't even mention it this morning.
The affirmative action, the working on religious days.
Okay,
I'm not even going to mention the next case, because that's going to be a whole drama.
Well, yeah, so we can come back with that afterwards. It's 9 o'clock now. Let's take this break and come back. Wow. Need to call the fire truck for this.
Oh,
we have fireproof.
Found the sound 98.9.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Give your car some TLC with CNC Auto Services Limited, located on the Bay Road Industrial Park, Bastille. We're your local agents for genuine Honda parts. Plus, we've got some sweet deals happening right now on suspension and brake parts, ignition coils, coolants, oils, and filters, with tires priced at $188. We've also got car batteries at the crazy low price of $345. So don't wait until your car is in dire need. Stop at CNC Auto Services and Honda today. Telephone 465-9317. For some speedy service and some unbeatable prices, your ride will thank you.
Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less. Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back coupons to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
And the phones are still going crazy. I don't know what's going on. Let's go back to the phone lines. Island T, you're on.
Good morning.
Hello. Hi. Hi, caller. Go right ahead.
Is the person there? Did we lose it?
Okay.
We lost it?
Hi, caller. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi.
Good
Let me turn down this here, man. I agree with the lady there just now and Candice. Religion is a lot of people God. And that's why a lot of them, when they go in the church building and they sit down in there, and the pastor and minister, whosoever it is, all he teaching them is about religion for that denomination. And that's where they are fooled by carrying all the money 3 times in one day. But the real God is the creator who created the whole world and everybody. And that is what they're not teaching. That's why you see, when the sun sets in the evening, the things that they tell you when the sun is up in the church not to do. When the sun sets, they take a walk around the place. You see where you catch them, they who tell you don't do this. They are the ones out there doing it. All because they're worshiping the wrong God, which is religion. So, when they come on and talk about this denomination say don't do this, the other way you ain't going to see Jesus or go heaven, that is false, and that is of the devil. That's why the man up there in Africa telling the people them starve themselves to death to see Jesus, because what? He ain't going to tell them, throw away the money in the sea if they want to see Jesus. He ain't going to tell them that. He ain't tell them, bring it. And likewise, around here in the Caribbean, the denomination is what mashing up the world. Religion, sorry, is what mashing up the world. Because if everybody obey the creator who make the whole world, then we won't have all these problems. If they think they're bad, let them move away from religion.
Okay,
and follow the creator, then they will see things go better.
Caller? Okay.
Can we have another
We
caller?
still lost the caller. Yeah. Okay.
We lost it. Oh, no.
Yeah. And I try to drop culture, in a clean way. Let's try again.
He ended nicely, though.
Island. He wasn't ended. I dropped it. No, I
Oh,
dropped
crap.
it. I tried to. Hey, caller, go right ahead.
To the
good
gallows
morning
for you,
to-
Jam.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I've been listening your discussion, and quite an interesting discourse you're having there. But I have 2 points to make for you. The matter of politics and religion are deeply interwoven. If you ever watched the Jones's Plantation, go on YouTube, type in the Jones's Plantation. It will explain to you exactly how politics work. By extension, religion is the breakdown of the political concept. Our colonizers did well to divide and conquer the world through religion. I'm not mixing this with the concept of true worship, because we have true worshippers who are not concerned with church and religion. That is not a part of the function of true worship to the Great Spirit, the Great Creator. It has nothing to do with it. But the institution of religion and politics is deeply interwoven. And you're talking about the separation of people. It has worked like a charm. And until today, we are still colonized to the T. As the sister, she made some very interesting points. I wouldn't start to dig in because it's a whole episode. But when you look at the level of control over people via religion and politics, it will make your head spin. We need to get past this place where we stop being divided by the craftsmen of division and seek to find in ourselves a place where we worship the true Creator for who the Creator is, rather than labeling ourselves as apostolic and Church of God and Methodist and all the crap. And every Sunday morning we all go separate ways and come back into the same house. How disgraceful is this? And we can't see how divided we are. And when I speak like this, someone might take offense to it. No, we need to wake up and get real. We are as divided as hell and we are not even able to see it. We need to wake up. That's all I'm saying. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to another call.
On another note,
okay.
Because I feel like we've done enough on this one topic.
Yeah, let's move on.
So Saharan dust is back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see us being listed in this article here, but the Antigua and Barbuda Meteorological Services has given an update saying that as of Wednesday night, the air quality has changed, right? So it's down to moderate levels, but please note that Saharan dust is back. And I'm wondering if that's what I'm seeing in my car. So, because I am so tired of washing it. So
yeah, oh man.
And today is also Child Month March.
Oh yes,
our version of it. I know there was one in Nevis. Was it last week?
I think someone was telling me too that last week they thought was it, yeah. So I don't know if this is a delayed one because I don't know.
No, I was greeted by a cute little girl coming up
okay,
the steps this morning.
Okay, phones are going crazy. Let's take some calls.
Phones are going crazy. Let's go.
Island, yeah, they just heard me. You didn't have to say it again.
Okay. Are you going to carry me to the gallows?
Apparently.
that might not be good enough, actually. But call, go right ahead.
Hello.
Hey, go right ahead.
Good morning.
And keep it brief. We have another call on your tail.
Good morning, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, on the backdrop of the lady before the break, Jamster, Azard and Candisie.
Yes.
I knew you were going
Now, she said, the Creator is not the author of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
An order was established by our Creator. An order was established, and he says, I have created you in my image and likeness and blessed us. And he said, I've given you herb for meat, and you shall have dominion over all flesh, and you must live in harmony with your fellow men. Genesis chapter 1. That order that was established by our Creator is what stands. We have strayed away from it because we are eating flesh today, and we are worshiping flesh. He says, you shall worship in spirit and in truth. We are eating flesh, so we became flesh. Today on social media, we're seeing you are what you eat. Well, here's the thing, guys. We have moved away from herbs, and we're now eating flesh.
But actually, no. Wait. God also put animals for us to partake of. I mean, fish.
Yeah. He said we shall have dominion over all flesh.
Yes.
But he says he has given us herb for meat. M-E-A-T. He has given us herb for meat, and you shall have dominion over all flesh. Now, that is up for interpretation. Because if you go to the two brothers who made their offering up to God, Cain and Abel, Cain offered up the herbs from the earth. Abel offered up a lamb that he had to shed blood. The God in the Bible is a God of blood. You and I now have to see beyond what is put there to keep us where we are. Because the creator of life, Jamster, does not take life. The elements of nature take life in that we have wind, fire, earth, as in mudslide, and we have rain. These are the elements because remember the earth is a living entity. And remember, take firstly, Jamster and guys, that the opposition started in heaven. And I am not saying heaven as a noun. I'm saying heaven as a consciousness. Those who oppose, I'm referring to those that were cast out according to the story. They too have created a seed. When I read what I read to you the other day, Jamster, you weren't ready for it. About the 6 ether beings. Because the angels that were cast out, they too have created a race of people. The 6 ether being with straight hair, Jamster. It is there. Remember, they hid our truth from us. But the truth cannot be hidden forever, Jamster. So I'm saying to us as a people, we are 9 ether being, Jamster. If you take a strand of your hair from your head, Jamster, it curls back up into a spiral 9. Now you can say the same for the 6. But the 9 is the highest number, which is Africans who are the direct expression of our Creator, Jamster.
Okay, caller. I'm with you, but I want to keep it down to earth.
Yes, Jamster, I'm going to finish now.
I don't want to get into all that arcane stuff. I mean,
Jamster?
Yes.
Our truth is there. Remember, we were colonized by a people who did what they did to us. Ask yourself the question, Jamster. Where have the black men have gone on this planet and did what the race have done to us? Where have we gone and have done what they did to us? Because we ruled this planet before, and we ruled it with love and unity. They divided us, as one of your callers said. Division have worked for them, and it is still working for them today, Jamster.
Okay.
Thank you for hearing me.
Okay, great. Yeah, he's not wrong. It's just that, all that esoteric stuff about. Yeah, I know this. Our hair is special and all that. Trust me, our hair is unique, and I really do wish a lot of us would recognize how special we are. We are special. But I'll leave it at that. Let's go back to the phone lines.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
It's a time for a change.
Thank you.
Time for a change in the conversation.
Yes, I have been trying unsuccessfully.
Because we're going to go to the tent. We will go to the tent eater, Good morning, my good friend Journey. What happened to 1 to 8 and 7? Anyway, I am calling to send off some birthday greetings. Let me lighten the atmosphere.
Good job.
Today is the birthday of my neighbor, Sherlan Cannisie, a young man who lives on the street by me.
I know Sherlan.
Very kind. He makes sure every morning, not every morning, every Monday morning, he takes out my garbage bin. See that is emptied and put back. Now, if you know my limitations, I do appreciate it. And some of his other brothers and so who run little errands for me. And yesterday was my niece's Sharon Henry's birthday, and also Val, Charlotte's sister, Valencia.
Yesterday was her birthday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Valencia Cannoneer, right?
I know them. Remember, I used to be your neighbor as well.
Oh, yes. So Charlotte is a nice slim one.
Yes, I remember.
Very kind. And, of course, I can depend on Barbara and his son.
Very nice.
So I give thanks for my neighbors.
Happy birthday, guys.
Yes, happy birthday, Charlotte, and belated to my niece, Sharon. She works foreign affairs. She must be down there smiling. Smiling and frowning. Beautiful girl. And, well, now, I want to talk about Sir Tapley Seaton. Have you spoken about it already?
No, we opened the lines for tributes and then it morphed into something else.
Oh, well, I wasn't on as yet. So I want to send my condolences to his sister and all his other relatives at home and abroad. Now, I met me saying doctor now, Sir Seaton, when I was doing first year university law. and he was a lecturer.
Wow.
Very quiet spoken. You know, his demeanor always impressed me, you know. You know, some people ain't got nothing much, but they're boastful. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Well, I reference...
You want him see when he walks around in bars, he's so quiet and just smiling, you know.
Yep. Always a cool
I really appreciated him. And, you know, when he was teaching, he said to us, I mean, after we had done the courses, he informed us when registration time, don't you know there's only one place allocated to St. Kitts in Cable? Well, I suppose all of that must be dissembled now. One. And it was a good-sized class, you know. So it killed a lot of our spirit. And then he said, you know, if you all ever have any business you want done, you can just come to me. And when I applied, of course, I took up the offer when I applied to buy the land on which my house is.
Miss Henry, could you explain that thing about one thing?
Yes, in Cable Law School.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still whole.
Okay, explain that.
Eh?
In that one
place, only one person per year could have gone to Cable. That's why you find a lot of them did their law in London.
Okay,
One.
Why was that?
Well, I don't know if it had to do with the contribution they made towards the school. Because, you know, your country, some countries didn't pay. But that changed in 1980. So there were quotas. I don't know if Azard could say if it's still whole.
Apologies, Azard had to run to court, so Azard stepped out. The quota still holds. I know.
Do you know about it?
I know. I can speak from Guyana's perspective. The quota still holds. Only 22, maybe 25 students are allowed to go to Hugh Wooden from University of Guyana. So if you miss that patch, you can't get in that year.
People don't know. So here we were, having done the one in the whole year course, only to be told only one. And the development bank backed it up in that. The government said it was not giving scholarship for law or economics.
Yeah, Azard says that you know, the quota. Sorry. Go ahead. I'll repeat it. So
tell me what Azard says.
He says he's not sure what the specific number is, but there isn't a quota anymore.
Yeah, right. So now you know, Jamster quotas still abound.
Yeah, his class had 7.
Yes. So if you're not in the number, you gotta maybe write, and you could write the lotting from here, or that you must go to either Jamaica.
Yes, that
Trinidad.
still happens. You actually are zoned
in the Caribbean.
You're zoned once you're petitioned. You're zoned to go to Jamaica, and then of course you can still write and request. You are.
I think some people from here went to Trinidad.
You can, because if Jamaica has not accepted you or met your quota, or you have extenuating circumstances, you can write to go to Hugh Wooden. But it's zoned.
The quota in us, no matter where you turn.
Yeah, it's zoned because I had the weird thing where I did my bachelor's in Guyana, so I was kind of zoned to go to Hugh Wooden, but I'm petitioned because I live here, I'm ordinarily resident here, so they were forcing me to go to Jamaica even though I wanted to go to Hugh Wooden. So
where did you eventually go?
I'm still waiting. That is a different topic for a different day.
Well, just follow it up. You didn't go to the first part, you know. Sometimes you get frustrated, you drop out.
Oh, my goodness. You don't even know the half. We'll have a cup of tea and discuss that.
You know. Anyway, I pray that things will work out for you.
Thank you.
And as you know, Tapley Seaton, he was the first AG. In fact, he took part in the talks for independence. You aware of it?
Yes.
Yes, he's one of the framers. So
yeah, they said
whenever we say something wrong with it.
Yeah.
And I love his spirit.
In our Constitution.
Of course, you've heard Dr. Douglas say he said, even though, of course, you know, they'll send you home and bring in their own people, he still volunteered, or he worked along with the AG in writing, what do you call them, those who frame the laws, what you call them? People who write the laws now.
The draftsman or the legal draftsman?
Right. He worked as draftsman also on the Dr. Douglas thing, you know. And so he had been suffering for a while. So my condolences, and let me say again, it was he who recommended that I get my Companion Star of Merit.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes. I mean, I was down at the center one day, and his secretary called me and said, the governor said you must send your curriculum vitae and the whole story. So I did not even know what it was for, you understand? Because, I went to UWI and all of that. And so I was thinking it was that, because we were going to have UWI's Day, when you make a donation. And I went to the meeting. I said, well, I wonder if they're going to give me something. I taught economics at the University Center for years. First economics from 88 to 2000, when I had difficulty with my sight, and I taught other courses. Right. And so I went saying, I wonder if they're going to do something. And I went to the whole function. They gave Dr. Simmons some honor. And I didn't hear my name, so I said, oh, well, maybe they're just collecting the information for the registration of the graduates. Mm-hmm. And then I was sitting in my house listening to the thing on the radio, and I heard my name. That I would be given anything. I said, well. So I give God thanks. So I didn't have to beg no politician do it for me. Thank God, thank you, Jesus. A man of gentle spirit. And another thing, he opened up the house. He opened up government house to people. I don't say that it wasn't open before, but not to that extent. And he was quite involved with the St. Christopher Trust. Yes. He would go down there and read stories to children.
Yes.
No, a lot of us would die. We would die if they asked us. Me, I can't go lower my dignity. When you hear the governor general of the country goes to those events, he makes sure that our people feel that it is our place. The building is ours. The yard is ours. So while, as my good friend Johnny would say, while the colonizers had it as theirs, he made us feel that it is ours. Not just keep you in the yard. He invited high school students to come for lunch. On the inside, sit down in the same chairs that the Queen and the people sit down in. So, St. has lost a good son. Yes. And I wish there were more like him. I wish a lot of us would come down off of our horse. Yes. And the trouble is, our horses are limping, The horse is limping.
Mrs. Henry, thank you so much for your contribution.
All right, then. So happy birthday again to my neighbor, Charlotte.
Awesome. God bless you. Have a good one today. So I got a message. It says Sir Tapley was in the first class for law school at UWI in 1970-71. And before he actually, got into that class, you had to go to England to study law. So it wasn't something that existed before.
And I think when we became Attorney General, he wasn't 40 yet. He was like 39 or 38, something like that, yeah. Let's take another call. Call or go right ahead.
Jamster.
Hey.
When he come Attorney General, he was well in the 30s. But Sylvine is right, And I want to send my deepest sympathy to my foreman, my big liar. God bless them, Shane Tapley. Sylvine is right, From since Colonial come into this time, we never had an administrator or governor make think its people feel like up there is a part of us. They distance us. From all Allen come back, this is already black man do to we only go get a chance to go in the independence. But Sir Tapley, he was attached to all the primary school from an early age. He was sending a message, and I hope that my friend Marcella could understand where he was going with the office. Bringing into independent up there, and that is what he was doing. So she's right, Sylvie is so right. You see, if we, poor people on the road, don't come and talk these things, a lot of them ain't got the vision. These things happen and they just blow in the wind like a hurricane, a puff of wind and blow it. People forget and think it's too quick. And this is the problem. She's so right. Jamster. And this is where we must go with these office. You see Joe down Church Street just laughing. This ain't a laughing business. You should be able to invite every primary school up in the office, and you as the Prime Minister talk with them. It sends waves a message. Double there. Tokyo Jamster.
Oh, okay. What did you just say?
I thought you would know because he said specifically Jamster.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So before I forget, because I've been meaning to say this all week, for those of you who are looking for camps to send your children to during the summer break, the Potter's House St. Kitts will host a teenage camp, summer pottery workshop. Teenage as in 12 to 17, from July 10th to the 14th, and then from the 17th to the 21st. Register for 1 week or for 2 weeks, and the children age 8 to 11 summer pottery workshop will be held closer to the end, so July 31st to August 4th, and the time is from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. You can visit the Potter's House, so www.thepottershouseStKitts.com to book online.
Okay.
All right, so I've been forgetting all week. I really wanted to get that out there.
Okay, and I should tell you, Fireproof this morning, it's open. We can discuss, we can ask him any questions. So, callers, we have Fireproof coming up, and this morning it's basically so you can call and ask any questions you have about fire safety, fires, anything related to that. And I should be starting with, let's sneaking this call before 9:30. It's 9:29. Okay, person isn't there, so.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break and then go into Fireproof?
Yeah,
awesome.
Here we go.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Magnum. Take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink responsibly.
No, the real gen of them drink Campari. Link up your girl with the Campari. Day or night with your Campari. Mix the pineapple, you can't run party. Campari, respect the bitter. Must be 18 years or older to drink responsibly.
Well, it's 9:31, and we await the arrival of the fire officer, Tim. Fireproof this morning. It's open line, basically. I was told that today is actually the Child Month March. I think it's going on at Fidel. If you want to call, I don't know if he's listening, but if you want to call and tell us a little, just give us like a 1 minute account of how the child march is going. I know usually they have that march. It's usually on Music Festival Thursday, but it's happening this morning. And when Fidel mentioned it, I realized that they didn't have it last week as they usually do. It's usually on the Thursday or the Friday of St. Kitts Music Festival, if memory serves. So yeah. Okay, so let's take this call in the meantime. Caller, go right ahead.
It's nice,
Hey, what's up?
Okay. I still see you at the right place in the right place, you know. Don't laugh, man. Me laugh with you, you know.
Okay, not laugh.
When you put culture and allow this other man to rambling on, because your co-worker is voicing her opinion on a matter. We don't allow that. And listen good. Listen. The same logbook, the same Bible, it said judge not. And that is what she is doing. And listen,
homosexuality, it gets it bad name because it is abnormal from the Bible and from people. It is abnormal sex. It is that sex. Okay. That sexual act is seen as abnormal. It is not normal because they say that sex with human being in the normal way is penis and vagina.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Double E. We have to go because the fireman. Yeah. The fireman is here. He's here. I just took the call.
We soon finish. What is oral sex? Oral sex is not abnormal too. It is mouth and penis, or mouth and vagina. And we don't hear the condemnation on that form of sex. It should be right across the board.
Okay, Eli. Okay. All
okay.
Right. Okay.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was trying to get a call. I was hoping to get Fidel to call about to just give me a 1 minute account of the child match. Child match is happening today. And I kind of thought that was him. But Tim, good morning.
Good morning.
Time for Fireproof.
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
What was that conversation about? Because I'm pretty sure I heard the female co-worker.
Oh no. He was just saying that when culture called, he thought that I unfairly cut off culture versus the person who called after culture.
Okay.
Yeah. He just used you as to point out when it was. Yeah. No.
Hi Timothy, good morning and welcome to IMT.
Hi Jamstar.
Hey, what's
Candy,
up?
how are you guys?
I am good.
Wonderful.
I've been people have been trying to suffocate my views all morning, but I am absolutely great.
Yeah, we have some feisty calls this morning.
Good luck today. They're ready and raring today.
I already have my first question,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We haven't even opened
it's a
it
good
up
one.
yet.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's something I remember from my uncle. I used to go up to the fire station to visit him.
That's good.
Yeah.
He saved this question for you.
Yeah.
So guys, today Fireproof is open. Today you can call in and get any of your questions answered. And Jamsa has the first question.
My first question. I remember him saying that sometimes there are cases where you guys can actually use salt water seawater to put out fires.
Yes, that is absolutely true. We have done that on numerous occasions. I wasn't in the service yet, but the fire that was at the Kuri fire, they initially they had to.
That's a corner of Bay and College.
Right,
yeah.
right. They had to resort to using salt water to extinguish that fire, and then the fire that was at Christoph Harbour. That was another fire again that we used salt water. We got some pumps, portable pumps, and placed them close the
beach,
the shore. Mm-hmm. And we pumped water to the scene.
Okay, so I guess they have to have filters to make sure maybe fish and other.
Yeah, the hose, hard suction hose as we call them. At the end of it, there is some strainers. As you could put it here, filters that whatever passes through them should not be of a certain size. Yeah. Otherwise it could damage the impellers.
Okay. Wow. So that means that the tanks are not made of, is it the aluminum tanks?
What would need to happen though is directly after you use the salt water, you have to flush it with fresh water. Make sure the whole system is flushed out.
Is that a time-consuming option? So maybe you don't use salt water as much?
Well, you have to consume fresh water in order to eliminate the salt in the system. Mm-hmm. So
it's kind of hard if you decide to, but in emergencies you probably
in emergency
use
purposes we use that.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Are there any constraints on the fire department because of the fact that we have water problems, we're under drought conditions, and water is kind of scarce.
Well, the fact that water is scarce, it
poses a problem for not just we as a department, fire services. It poses a problem for the whole federation. So we are encouraging the general public to use water wisely, consume water in a wise way. For example, if you're brushing your teeth, don't leave the water running. If you're bathing, you turn off the water while you lather up, and then you could turn it back on to rinse off. Things like these. Don't have the water continuously flowing. If you need to wash your vehicle, instead of using a hose, you fill a bucket of water, you wash down, and you try to rinse off the best way possible.
Yes. Okay. So callers, don't forget, we have open line today for Fireproof, so you can call the fire officer and ask any question. You must have had some question you wondered, something you wondered about fire safety and anything adjacent to fire. Call, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning. This is Culture here.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, good program. As you were telling Jamsto that, yes, seawater can be used or have been used to out certain fire. It's just like a car. If your car falling in the sea and you get it out on time, then you have a chance to wash out all the salt from the engine and whatnot, and she's good to go again.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you all were born as yet, but 1960, there was a large fire at a business place on the Bay Road called John Gumbs, opposite the post office. And the fire station was right there, East Park Range, right in the courthouse yard there. And they never had enough water to hold that fire. And they had to pull water from the sea to finish out that fire. Wow. And when they're done, they wash it down. And that was what you call a terrible fire, burn all day. All day until the next day still smoking, and they were pumping seawater to out it down. And then 1974, there was a molasses boat anchored in Bastille Harbor. It caught fire, and that boat destroyed by fire. And it's seawater they had to pull and out that fire out in the boat. So the seawater, it helps a lot. But it depends on where the fire may be. The fire hose, the fire truck will not have any hose to it, that's seawater.
Yeah,
so that is my little history. Beg pardon?
Yeah, so it depends on where the fire is.
Right, that's right, it depends.
Okay.
So once it's close to the sea enough, then the fire truck could pull water from the sea and out it. Anyway, thanks for your program.
Okay, great.
Thanks for your contribution.
Okay.
Good to know. It looks like this.
1960.
Wow. So I imagine that's probably when the new John Gumbs building was built, maybe after.
After that fire.
After that fire, yeah.
Before our time.
Yeah. Molasses boat, huh? Wow. Fireproof, you're on.
Yes, let me continue from where he left off. I don't know if the fireman knows about the Haley place.
Yes.
Yes. I don't remember what year though. Might have been in the 80s.
I can't remember I wasn't in the fire services then when it happened.
It burned from Liverpool all the Koori, burned out the lumber yards there. Kawaja had a fire. I think is right where Social Security was also a lumber yard. And I saw them pulling water from the sea to out the Haley and Koori fire.
Yes.
So I always wonder why sometimes.
Wasn't that the early 2000s? Like.
No,
it was Guy Fox.
No, it was, I joined in '99, and it was before that.
Right. Well, that's what I said. Somewhere down there was the Guy Fox story.
Yes.
And one of the workers going light a starlight and must drop it. And that was action. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Well, two questions. One. Now I usually hear these firework little bombs going up all year round. Do you all investigate where they get them from and how are they stored? Because in Newtown and you all up there, you almost hear them sometimes at midnight.
Sometimes I do hear. I hear some
you all don't
fireworks
check
going
to see
off.
where they're stored?
I am not I don't think we have gone into the investigating part as to where
Yeah,
they come
better
from.
go,
I mean,
because Newtown cram.
persons need a particular license to import firecrackers. So if we have firecrackers on the island, I would assume that they
They have a
come
lot,
through
because I show you don't hear them.
I do hear them
all
from time
year
to
round,
time.
all hours.
They're actually being
Once
sold
ago,
right now because July 4th is Tuesday.
Yeah. Once ago it
And
was
these-
just around Guy Fawkes time we used to hear them, but now it's
All
it's
year.
all year.
And they like to do it after night to do one of his gunshot outing. Now, these fireworks that they have a music festival.
Yes.
Do you all find out the intensity of these things? The last
we-
one day I said, I
Right.
believe, well, I look at it as science, the vibration from these massive things would have an effect on people's house structure. So there should be, to me, a limit, because they're doing it right in the middle, right in a residential area. Did you think about it?
In relation to the fireworks at music festival, we were
The last one in particular.
Yes, we were in collaboration with the organizers of the firework event, and we went through all safety measures. In term, we looked at the area where they were having the fireworks done. We looked at a number of things regarding fireworks, and we always collaborate whenever they're having fireworks of that
kept thinking
magnitude.
to myself, look, the force of this explosion, because I have a friend, whose house got damaged by they call it jackhammer. Damage the foundation, and the government don't want to take no blame for it until the house is now to be abandoned, and the person is still waiting for compensation. Now let me go to this thing about escape exits. I was thinking to myself that rather than waiting until people apply for a permit to have a function, since if you all know the usual locations, shouldn't you all do some checking before to make sure that they have adequate exit, adequate things to put out fire or whatever, rather than wait until they apply?
Whenever
The usual places.
All right, so whenever there are major events taking place,
Not major, talking about function, like, what the promoters put on an event, they call them event now.
it goes by application. Persons have to apply.
I am asking, couldn't you, since you can either be up 17 or over some, shouldn't you all make it a habit or whatever?
Yeah, but Sylvain, what I'm saying is that if persons apply, there is no guarantee whether or not they would gain the rights to hold the event. So it would have to be after they apply and they are given the proper permission, then all the other things come into play where we would go and inspect and so forth.
But you're aware that by that time they don't sell tickets.
That might be so, but then
so you could take the preemptive action.
If they go and sell tickets and they are denied, then that is on them. They should wait for the proper approval.
I agree with you, but I still think,
so
we
can't allow persons
the last
to.
The last question. Have you begun to hose down those drains in Bastia on the Bay Road that lead to the sea, so that we could stop having this backup? Because there's somebody complaining, you have them all across the Bay Road, all up Newtown, Bramble Street. Not Bramble, you know what I mean, the one that got by Fulton. Because you find when we have a little rough sea or something, the water back up into Liverpool Road, all in the circus, and back up to George Street. So I think maybe now is the time to start hosing down, or get somebody go down to the sea, maybe a ship or whatever, and start to clear these drains. That's my last thing. Have you all begun to do them, check them? All right.
All right, so Thank you, Sylvain, for your contribution.
As I carry on to that question, though, before you answer, you don't think it's time that maybe the Department of Health, maybe they should be the ones to purchase maybe those firefighting level pumps to do that kind of thing, and maybe you have one or two firemen, train a team, so that's the. I don't think that's something you all should have to be doing in perpetuity. I think it's something that should be turned over to. But go ahead.
No, it's. I'm glad you brought that to the light. Now, that is exactly what I was going to highlight. Well, not exactly what you said, but something similar. Now, we as a fire department, we work in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, Environmental Health. Now, environmental health, they have the sole responsibility for cleaning these drains. However, given the nature of what we do, we most times assist the environmental health in cleaning these drains. So the responsibility of cleaning these drains is not on the fire department. However, whenever there is a blockage somewhere, or the health department, they see the need for us to come in to assist them in terms of getting a little extra water to force out whatever debris, etc. that is in the drains, then they call upon us. We have done that numerous times. But for us to just get up and go out and start to clean these drains by ourselves, that is not a part of.
So there's a protocol.
Yes, there's a protocol that we have to look at. Now, Sylvie touched on something there where she spoke about the loudness of the firecrackers and the possibility of it damaging a house. Now, yes, these firecrackers are very loud, but to the extent where a house is being, whether having cracks or damage, serious damage being done to a home, I do not see that happening unless, it is actually in the house you're lighting these firecrackers.
I know they mess with dogs.
Yeah, they're.
Oh, we have calls.
Oh, we have. Okay.
Call, go right ahead.
Good morning again.
Hey,
good morning.
Yes, I'm curious to know, but I don't know if my curiosity is already dealt with, right? But if you're in a position to answer honestly, I will appreciate it.
Okay.
Now, we hear the talk right now about climate changes and global warming and so on, and we've now been hearing a lot about water scarcity. That's at the point where we're at. Now, sometimes they have effects and all of that, and they have what they call a wet down effect. And sometimes it seems like you have the fire truck or whomsoever else bring that tank of water, that huge tank of water for the effect. Now, I would like to know what kind of water they use. If this is the same water that they call what? Potable water that they use for the effect, or is it salt water? Mark, you, in the light of what we are saying that there is water scarcity, what is it that they use? I'll listen off here.
That's a good question, actually. Good
All
point.
right, so the water that is used is not salt water. So it's fresh water. It's water that can be used. Well, it's from the fire hydrant. It can be used. So in relation to the FET, in terms of the wet down FET and so, maybe we need to look at an alternative way of dealing with the wet down FET. I know it's something that persons enjoy. You could see them on the videos, etc. But we can look at an alternative way of dealing with that.
Call, go right ahead.
Yeah, well, let me tell me good neighbor, my good friend, that they will never use salt water to wet down people, because the salt water burn your eye even when you bathe in the sea. So it's fresh water, and some of them even go in the square to jump in the thing in there with the water. The fountain, when they don't jam. Because nobody wants no salt water in the oil. But it's better to ask a question, if you don't know. But let me say something now about these, what I call firecrackers. These are what you call rock busters. I built the airport up there with Higgs and Hill. And what they have to do with those big boulders, they drill holes in them and they put in a bomb called TNT.
TNT. Dynamite.
Right, and when that explodes, any plane want to pass over the airstrip, they got to be way up above the clouds. Because the pressure from that throw them rocks so high and hard till a rock went down in Candisie village, dropped on a community center where there was a little school in there and a little child in there got damaged.
Wow.
The rock burst the galvanized, went in and struck the child in the head. Thank God the little child never died, but she's alive today. So that is the power of those bomb thing what they call TNT. And I remember when I was going to school, they had some little cigarette-shaped bombs. You buy them and you scratch them and show them and you hear pow. Well, we invented a gun, a rifle, out of galvanized half-inch pipe. And we strap on that on a piece of board like a gun butt. And we block up the other end. And what we would do, hold that pencil bomb down inside the end of the barrel, and we haul across a matchbox on the top of it, scratch it and let it go, drop it in the pipe, throw in a marble behind it, and then when that they explode, the marble come out and go and hit the mountain down that we're trying to shoot. So that is how powerful those crackers are, never mind those TNTs. And I believe those TNTs, they crack up people's houses when they break up. So that's my little information to the listeners.
Okay.
I really hope that nobody else does that what he just described. I'm hoping it's
I was just about to tell him,
But
don't give anybody any ideas.
I gotta say though, culture had some small days though.
Indeed. No,
we have a call.
We have a call?
Yeah,
Okay.
call or go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
When does one use water to out fire? Because I want to believe we have a gas fire, oil fire, like for example, when they had the Thailand fire. But the Thailand fire, it lasted for a very long time. You know?
Thailand, also Losadas?
Losadas, yes.
Yeah.
Because downstairs is where the oil paint was stored. But the fire got upstairs and extended to downstairs. And it's like they couldn't get the fire out. So that is when they then had to introduce water. But I'm saying about Thailand and
No, I wasn't born, of course. My mother told me about it.
Okay, because like we used to get a lot of marbles, but the police them used to harass us because it's like everything on the sky fire, right? Buy to buy, they put up galvanized fence, but we have pulled out and we have got in and we have take out so we could get that wherever. But you couldn't picture the marble them. One with the marble, bap, it was in pieces.
Because of the heat, yeah, the heat.
But if I would like to know, well, what caused for people to use the water when there's certain type of fire, like for example electrical fire, or the type of fire I was pointing to when they had Thailand fire with a lot of oil paint that was stored down.
Okay.
Spectacular.
Candy, by the way, Candy might not know. Losada used to be. You see where the TDC parking lot is?
Thank you, sir. I do.
Oh, you know? Okay.
My sister is a documentalist, historian.
wait. Let's take note of that question. We have some more calls. Call or go right ahead, quickly, so we can move to the and then he'll address all the calls after.
To the fire.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with using seawater to put out the fire. It's just the effect of the salt on the machinery, on the pumps. Because to put the fire out, all you have to do is to get the temperature down. Lots of water will bring the temperature below the combustion level. But when you're finished, the pumps that were used, they tend to be stainless steel, and they will rust. And that is why on land they use plain water. Because you have ships at large harbors. They have fire ships, and these just extract the water from the sea and pump it. But these pumps are designed to last a long time, and they're serviced regularly. And the one thing I'd like to bring in, someone brought up the subject of venues. Now, I'm not sure which department is responsible, but there's no reason why you cannot have a certificate for a building which says this building is certified for 500 people, and before you get your certificate, it's inspected, it's given annually inspected. And so if I come along to run an event, I don't have to worry about applying for the licenses, because the building should already be licensed to cover the rescue for that. Anyway, thank you. Goodbye.
Great. One more. Caller, you're the last call. Okay. So Tim, it's all on you now. You have 2 minutes.
All right. So
in relation to what that caller said, even if the building has been licensed and passed all whatever certification that you guys would have issued, don't you guys still have to go do the checks to make sure that their event is in keeping with what it should be?
Yes, we still have to. Now you have a lot of factors that takes place. Now the owner of the owner of the building, they might not incur the fire extinguishers, etc. However, the person who is putting on the event, they would need to have fire safety equipment and so readily available, such as, like as I said, the fire extinguishers. So we need to know that some of these things are in place before the event.
And an escape plan. Especially if you're renting a venue, it's not their venue.
It's not their venue.
Okay.
So they need to have certain things in place.
So you guys are actually the ones, the firecrackers come under your purview. Are you the guys that regulate?
Well, we don't
storage
regulate,
and so on.
No, we don't regulate the storage, but certain information still has to pass through the fire department.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe if there's a fire, you guys maybe know where to go and make sure. Okay, I figured.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, time flew by.
It's a good show.
Thank you so much for coming
in.
And we still have calls going there.
Don't we have another segment coming up? Is she here?
Oh, no. We have Spin Cycle next.
Okay.
Yeah, so music for a change.
It's your call.
Okay, Tim, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, so we just want to encourage persons to be safe in anything that they do. Be fire safety conscious. Do not, do anything that would incur loss of property or life. Persons work hard for the things that they have attained over the years, and all of that could go up in smoke in just an instant.
No pun intended.
So pay particular attention, whether it is you're doing something in the kitchen, if you're doing something in the yard that could potentially spread over into a neighbor's yard. Be conscious.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
You clearly have to do this again another time, whenever you're ready.
There are lots of questions.
Yeah, because
phones are lining up.
Guys, save your questions. We will schedule another open mic for Fireproof. But thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for all your contributions. And have a safe and happy weekend.
And I hope you have a fire-free week as well.
Thank you very much.
Weekend and week.
Thank you.
Have a good one today, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, great. And we have a Spin Cycle Power Hour coming up next. Stay tuned. It's 10 o'clock.